I walked into my living room that afternoon expecting silence, just the familiar stillness of a house that had felt too large ever since Saria and I went our separate ways. Instead, there she was, her mother, Mrs. Halden, sitting on my couch with her hands clasped tightly in her lap, eyes red as if she had been trying hard not to cry. The kind of red that comes not from one moment of sadness, but from days of holding everything in. When she looked up at me, her voice trembled as she said that she needed somewhere to go. And in that moment, everything inside me stirred with memories I had tried so hard to fold away and tuck somewhere unreachable. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and giving someone a second chance in life, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Chronicles. Your support truly means the world and helps these stories reach more hearts. I hadn't seen Mrs. Halden in almost a year. Not since the day Saria walked out of my life, closing the front door softly but decisively, as if she didn't want to make the ending louder than the love we once had. I spent weeks after that day avoiding every place that reminded me of her: cafes, grocery aisles, the park bench near the lake. But her mother had always been kind, always welcoming, always the one who believed in small gestures of warmth. It felt strange to see her in my home again, like the universe had opened a doorway I wasn't prepared to walk through, she explained slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. She had left home. Things had become unbearable. Her husband, Saria's father, had been growing distant, cold, consistently dismissive in ways that hollow a person up piece by piece. He had never been an easy man, but something had changed in him lately, something sharp and unkind. She had endured it silently for so long that she had forgotten what it felt like to breathe without bracing herself. Her leaving was not dramatic. It was quiet, the way flowers wilt, not suddenly, but after so many days of not being watered. She had nowhere else to go, she said. And somehow, her instinct led her to me. Not because I was still connected to their family, but because I had once made her feel safe. That thought landed in my chest with a weight I didn't know how to respond to. The house was full of daylight, warm and orange, spilling through the open curtains. Dust floated lazily in the sunbeams, moving slower than time itself. It all felt gentle, yet unbearably heavy. I told her she could stay for as long as she needed. The words came out before I could think, but it didn't matter. I meant them. I brought her water, made sure she ate something small, and watched her sit with her thoughts like she was sorting through them one by one. That first evening, we didn't talk much. She stayed in the guest room, the same room where her daughter used to keep a spare sweater, makeup pouch, and a framed photo of us smiling under the afternoon sun. I had boxed those things long ago and stored them in the top of the closet, out of sight, but not erased. Days followed. She moved softly through the house, tidying little things, watering plants I had almost let die, folding blankets with the care of someone who needed to hold something together, anything. While her own world had cracked, I began to notice things. The way she lingered near windows. How she paused when the wind rustled outside. She was waiting for a call, or maybe the courage to never expect one again. One afternoon, while sunlight spread warm across the kitchen tiles, she finally spoke about Saria. The name hit the air like the sound of an old song you have avoided for too long. She told me that Saria had moved to another city, trying to start over, chasing things that life had once denied her. She was working, living, but not truly living. And she asked about me in quiet moments, when she thought no one could hear. Hearing that hurt, but it also softened something in me. Love doesn't disappear. It changes shape. It becomes memory, lesson, a whisper instead of a shout. One morning, when the sky was bright and clear, we sat at the small table in the kitchen. The world outside seemed calm. A gentle breeze moved the curtains. The neighborhood children played somewhere in the distance. A day like any other, except it wasn't. Her voice was steadier now. She said she was tired of running from pain. She wanted to start choosing herself. To leave the marriage not because she hated her husband, but because she no longer wanted to lose herself inside his indifference. I admired her. Not because she was strong, strength is often forced on us, but because she chose to reclaim herself. Healing is not gentle. It is messy, uneven, full of days when the heart hurts in ways the mind cannot speak. Slowly, my home became filled with life again. She cooked small meals and insisted I sit and eat something real, something warm. She opened windows in the morning to air out the house, as if she believed that sunlight could stitch wounds. She talked to me about small things, stories from her childhood, how she used to sew clothes when money was tight, how she loved roses because they bloomed despite their thorns. In her presence, silence wasn't heavy anymore. It was comforting. A reminder that even broken people can be gentle. Weeks passed. And then one day, as I was tending to the plants in the backyard, plants she had brought back to life, Saria walked into the yard. The sun was high overhead. The air smelled faintly of jasmine. And there she was, standing just a few feet away, uncertain but not surprised. Her mother had told her she was here. And now she had come. Time didn't freeze. It simply slowed. Enough to feel the heartbeat in my throat. We didn't rush into words. The moment didn't demand explanations. It demanded presence. We walked inside, sat at the kitchen table, the same table where her mother had sat day after day, mending herself. Saria looked older, not in age, but in depth. Her eyes carried the weight of lessons learned the hard way. She told me she left because she was scared of losing herself, of not being enough, of becoming someone dependent on what we had instead of growing into who she wanted to be. She thought leaving would make her stronger. Instead, she felt hollow, wandering through life without the warmth she once found here. We didn't embrace. We didn't apologize. We simply spoke. And sometimes, speaking is enough to reopen doors gently instead of forcing them. Her mother joined us, and the sunlight turned the room gold. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just real. 3 people, each trying to understand how love could change but still be present in different forms. In the days that followed, something soft unfolded. Her mother found her courage. She filed for separation, found a small place of her own nearby, a place with windows full of sun. And Saria visited, not daily, not intensely, just enough to break the silence carefully, thoughtfully, respectfully, and I learned something. Love isn't always about holding on to someone. Sometimes it is about making room for healing, yours, theirs, and everyone affected along the way. Sometimes life gives us back what we lost, not to restart the story, but to finally understand it. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Chronicles. Your engagement helps stories of compassion and humanity reach more souls who need them.